Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josefa Sandoval, Secretary General, and on behalf of the Spanish Chamber of Commerce and Bravent, as main organizer, and in collaboration with Microsoft and Iberdrola, we welcome you to the webinar about virtual intelligence. This webinar will have a duration of as a speaker, Ms. Arantxa. And we are finishing this webinar with the company Bravent as a speaker, Mr. Mario and Mr. Joe. Please note that this webinar will be recorded. Please remember to keep microphone off. All the questions you have will be answered at the end of the presentation. Now I will pass it over to the company Microsoft, Mr. Yap, regional go-to-market lead at Microsoft AI Advanced Analytics. Jad, you can start when you are ready.
Great, thank you so much. Hope everyone can see and hear me, and thank you for the introduction, Secretary. And I'm going to just put up my screen, and then please let me know when you can see my slides, and I'll get going. Great.
Yes, we can see the presentation.
Great. Well, first of all, I want to also say that it's a pleasure for me to be here, having a chance to share, really exciting topic that's really transforming our industry in technology, and that's going to really affect every single industry that we know of. Again, my name is Jad. I lead the go-to-market for AI and advanced analytics in the Middle East. I'm based here in Doha. And I always take the opportunity to be able to share my passion for technology in any forum. So thank you again for the invitation, and to our partner Bravent for extending this invitation. AI has been something that is been talked a lot about in the news, in the media, maybe around the dinner table with kids. It's something that has become a very important topic, and is really going to affect how we work, how we communicate, the type of industries, the type of jobs that are going to be created. And really, it's a journey and a next evolution of technology in general and how things move along. At Microsoft, we first started by helping companies around the world and individuals with our cloud, to start something that was called the cloud journey and the cloud transformation. And cloud is basically massive data centers, massive facilities with lots of technology that help a lot of organizations transform. So that cloud technology enabled digital transformation, companies becoming more digital and starting to digitize a lot more. And we saw it really during COVID, where companies didn't have a choice. They had to digitally transform. They had to move things from paper-based to digital. And now, as we move ahead, we're moving from digital transformation to AI transformation, which is a little bit about what I'm going to talk about today. Now, technology has always been a driver for GDP growth and helping economies grow. And as you can see on the slide that I'm presenting, there's a wide variety of technology, and we can see that as time progresses, the newer and newer technology are adding more and multiplying more the GDP growth that we're seeing, and it's just accelerating over time. From the printing press in the 1400s, where we estimate that it added just under 1 time the growth in GDP, to now cloud and AI that's adding 20 times the GDP growth. So it's something that's going to continue accelerating. All the technologies in between are technologies that helped grow GDP, but AI is really the defining technology of our time that's really going to accelerate growth as we move along. And to give a little history about artificial intelligence, it was a concept that first started as a research in the field of computer science in the mid-1950s, where it was the work that was being done was trying to get machines to replicate or even exceed human intelligence. And as that field progressed, we moved into a subset of artificial intelligence, which is called machine learning. And machine learning was trying to use a vast amount of historical data to be able to predict outcomes in the future and do some predictive analysis to be able to take better actions and help things moving ahead. One example of machine learning and predictive analytics is the concept of predictive maintenance, where sensors are put in an elevator, for example, and data is collected from all the times that that elevator needs to be serviced. And through time, you're able to predict when the elevator is going to malfunction and be able to send out a crew to do the repair and the maintenance to not have the elevator break down. And that's one example of predictive analytics, which in this case is predictive maintenance, which is using machine learning. After that, around in 2017, there was the concept of deep learning, which really was the next level in artificial intelligence, which really tried to mimic the human brain using neural networks, as we call it, just like we have in the human brain, to be able to do even more powerful capabilities, to be able to reason on data and do advanced analytics. And now we've reached the era of generative AI, right? And for the first time, it is technology that has really been adopted in a really big way. We're going to talk a little bit about ChatGPT, obviously, but it's a concept that is really transforming and having an impact on every single industry that we can hear there. Generative AI is the next level of AI that is a technology that will help generate content, use something we call large language models that can reason around a vast amount of content and unlock really transformational scenarios in many industries, like we're going to see in a bit. And as Microsoft, we've been leading in generative AI, and there's definitely been a lot of press from so many different news outlets. I think in December of last year, that's when the technology ChatGPT started emerging, and people really started thinking, how is this technology going to transform industries? People started using it for all different aspects. And it was really interesting to see how a technology comes out and you see how different industries or students or professionals or even people that want to learn are using this technology. And just to put it into context, the adoption rate has been so staggering that a technology like ChatGPT reached 100 million users in just a matter of 2 months. And there's been a lot of great technologies from social media, from things like Spotify, transforming the way we connect, the way we listen to music, and to see how fast this type of technology has been adopted really speaks volumes into what it could be in a few years and what people are going to be using it for. Fun statistics, ChatGPT had a few achievements that are really noteworthy. For example, it passed one of the classes at a Wharton MBA. It passed a US medical license exam. It was able to perform tasks and get certified from the American Certified Public Accountant. It passed a class from the Minnesota School of Law. It even co-authored a research paper that was peer-reviewed. That's really, really amazing. And actually, the picture on the right is an image that was generated by AI. And we asked the AI to generate an image based on the achievement of ChatGPT. And that's the image that it came up with. So it's really fascinating how this technology is able to do these things. And they're really going to be able to augment the capabilities. Really quickly, this is also going to have a significant impact on the economy, right? We have researches that were done from some of our partners that estimate that this will bring in, augment the global economy by almost $16 trillion. To the Middle East specifically, it will contribute to $320 billion. 18.6% of the AI innovations will go directly towards public sector. For Qatar specifically, there's an estimation of an 8.2 contribution to the Qatar economy by 2030. And a poll just asking executives on how they feel about AI, it's very positive, right? Even though there's a lot of things being said out in the press, people are very hopeful that this technology is really going to bring in value to our societies and to our industries. So AI is a new reality. It is something that is here and something that is really gaining an adoption. But it's not something that's new, as I showed you on the different subsets of artificial intelligence. It's been here for a lot of years. Think about it when you're using social media and you are looking at your news feed. AI is actually deciding what content to put in front of you, right? So why is it now that with generative AI, there's lots of buzz and lots of transformation and lots of adoption, and it's really creating all these different questions? Where really because of generative AI, it's very different from the other types of AI. With generative AI, humans are at the center of the AI. With social media and AI as it was before, you don't really interact with the AI. You don't decide what comes on your news feeds, for example, when we talk about social media. With generative AI, it's the human at the center. And we have a notion of the fact that we're going from autopilot, which is the previous versions of AI, to co-pilot, with the human at the center and the AI acting as a co-pilot to help you augment your capabilities and help you do your tasks. And that's really the transfer. I'm sorry?
هناك مش موجودين.
I'll continue. Maybe there's someone that needs to be put on mute. But as I was saying, so it's really the human at the center of this AI, really utilizing the AI, interacting with something like ChatGPT to ask it to do some tasks. And we'll see what some of those tasks are, but really helping augment human capability and drive innovation, right? So we went from a portion where we had technology as the set of tools in the autopilot world, where now we have a co-pilot that could be a creative assistant. We went from a point where we have databases, where we have a lot of data that we have to analyze and reason over, to now having a mechanism where we can ask questions and get data output to us. We had a world where we had to know how to code and write commands, to now being able to write through human text with words in English or Spanish or a language, and really get an output through natural language instead of using specialized language or coding, right? So really AI is, this notion of having a co-pilot everywhere for everyone is something that's going to be very real. Every single company, organizations are really trying to think about how can we utilize this technology and how can we create our own co-pilot for our own business or for our own organization to help us augment with knowledge, being able to reason over data, ask questions about our own data and get answers directly, create new pieces of content with our existing data. So it's really, like I said, the human at the center that is working side by side with the AI, and that's what's been really, really different. When we talk about generative AI, there's 4 main capabilities that we look at. First one is content generation. So you ask the AI to produce content for you. Write me a song based on, the weather today. Write me a play or a speech that I'm going to be able to work over and then go and present to. So that's something called content generation. The second one is summarization. I have a lot of content. I can't read everything. I'm looking for a very specific information. I can ask a question with natural language, and it will give me the answer, or it will summarize it for me in a way for me to be able to consume it. The third is code generation. Developers and coders are using AI to help them write code, right? It's estimated that in a few years, 80 to 90% of the code that's going to be written is going to be written by AI with the help of a human. So the human will say, write me code to build an application. It'll send the code. That would be 80% of what's needed. The rest of the 20% would be written by the human, and then they work together to build an application. Very, very exciting. The last one is semantic search, which is being able to research from a vast pool of data instead of receiving bits and pieces. You get an answer through natural language, and you're able to get the answer to the question that you want. And really, it's these scenarios put together that start unlocking real scenarios in the industry to help organizations transform. So for example, we're putting generative AI in call centers to help call center agents have better responses to the people that are calling in. We're putting generative AI in centers to help people ask questions about the sales and marketing data that they have about their customers to get answers really quickly and be able to provide a better service to customers. We're using generative AI for business process automation. So a lot of ways it could be done to help customers all along the way. And as soon as this technology was availed, what Microsoft did is that they took it and we plugged it in each and every one of our services to make sure that we augment the capability of our services, right? So Office and Microsoft 365, we've added a Copilot. Dynamics 365, which is a business application for companies, we've added it in. Even in cybersecurity, having a Copilot to help the cybersecurity agents detect threats and to be able to respond a lot quicker. That's something that we've added. And soon there's even a Copilot that's going to be coming to Windows, where you're going to be able to ask the Copilot to find you a file that had X question and send it to someone, ask from Windows a recommendation for what music you should listen to while you're working. Lots of very nice scenarios where you won't have to drag your mouse and click on icons. You'll just be able to chat with an agent and get things done. So really, to bring it across, every industry is going to get reimagined, from financial services to healthcare to manufacturing to telco. This is going to affect every industry, and in a positive manner. The importance is for organizations to be able to figure out how this technology can be leveraged the most and impact their industry. We have a few stories that I would share, but I'm running a bit short on time, so I'm going to skip it. But just to say that lots of really, really big companies are exploring this technology. It is available and capable to be leveraged by any size of organization, whether big companies, government agencies, small companies, startups. They're all going after this technology to try to leverage it. And as Microsoft, what we do is we ensure that when you utilize generative AI, the OpenAI service, which is the one powering ChatGPT, it runs on trust, and it is confined within your own environment. All the data that is being trained from your application is your own data. As Microsoft, we do not use customers' data to fine-tune the existing model. So by doing so, this is something that's giving confidence to organizations to look into this technology and really lean in. And it's something that we do it not just for generative AI, but for all of our technologies. We make sure that there's the right amount of data privacy and security. So to close with that, I'm going to say the opportunity is yours, any organization out there, to lead your own AI transformation and to leverage really this fascinating evolution in artificial intelligence to find out how you can embed it in your own organization and really make the best out of it. With that, I'll pass it back to you if there's any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jack, for all this information. Now we will continue with Arantxa Ortiz Marina. She is the Advanced Analytics Director from Iberdrola Innovation Middle East. Arantxa, I cannot hear you. Your microphone, yeah, now, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks very much for the introduction and thanks very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to stay here with you. And I'm going to share my screen. I suppose it's done. Is there? Do you see it?
Yes, we can see the presentation.
Okay, thanks very much. First of all, I would like to introduce Iberdrola Innovation Middle East, why we are here in our mission in the Iberdrola ecosystem and the energy business. Iberdrola Middle East is an initiative for the development of new services and products to enhance energy and Iberdrola's business from a technological and energy expert point of view. We mean improving the business with the company's profit in mind, of course, but also the customer's comfort and environment. Our mission is to uncover new opportunities and help leverage data and artificial intelligence to make energy business easier and more efficient. First, we are here because Iberdrola has a pioneer in many fields, but I would like to focus on two main aspects. First is the vision of the evolution of the energy. Iberdrola Group started investing in renewable energy more than 2 decades ago as the foundation on which to build its clean, reliable, and smart business models. Thanks to this acumen, this company is today a world leader in renewable energy with 41 to 150 megawatts of operational renewables by the end of the first half of the 2023, and with 7,000 megawatts under construction at the cutting edge of an energy transition towards a low emissions economy. So this is not feasible, this is not possible without an elite that is the technology to speed up the business and energy transformation. Starting with digitalization of the grid, that is absolutely mandatory to gather all this data, but also coming from the consumption of the customers, even the digitalization of the relationship with the customers and the different devices and sensors deployed along the grid and the generation plants. Artificial intelligence nowadays in Iberdrola is a reality, and it's a technology that is part of Iberdrola business. There are many applications that rely on artificial intelligence to resolve the emerging situation derived for the new paradigm created by the digitalization and energy transition. The use cases in which artificial intelligence is applied are growing exponentially at its potential to solve all a new situation as is understood. And then with all these experience already accumulated, this not little, I think that we are just in the beginning. This is exactly our center here in Middle East. We rely on a group of experts that we develop all these systems with a huge platform that we can monitorize, we can gather all this data coming from different sensors. And we have big alliance here for best centers, research center universities here in Qatar. I would like to share with you also some examples related with the main fields that we are working on here. We work with the networks, distribution, and transmission grids. We have the digitalization of the grid, monitor it, and remote control it. So everything related to the operation of smart grids and energy supply can be managed quickly and remotely. With all this value data, artificial intelligence allows frequent preventive maintenance, detection of anomalies, and anticipation of dangerous situations. But we are also involved in decarbonization plans. So nowadays, the household electrification is high and is expected to increase significantly in the coming years. This will require the grid to supply energy that meets user needs, and we will use artificial intelligence to plan, operate the grid, and balance the load to avoid failures in the supply. But we also were working, remember this slide, we also working with renewables. This is the main, nowadays, we are the biggest company working in renewables in the world, and this is one of our priorities. So renewable-based power generation is a highly volatile system with a high dependence of the weather. Artificial intelligence-based systems resolve production forecast, and that encourage the sale of the energy produced. But artificial intelligence also plays an important role in maintenance. Most of the time, wind farms are far away and the pieces are really expensive. So artificial intelligence is participating on this, providing optimal operation to avoid breakdowns, but also extend the life of the turbine and reduce the cost of maintenance. And the third part that I wanted to share with you is the other field that is also here is the relationship with the customers. That is another part, and really is and now the biggest relationship with the generate artificial intelligence. I think the artificial intelligence applied in the marketing and customer intelligence was the first using machine learning and artificial intelligence techniques to offer the best approach to customers. And well, at the beginning, they started with client segmentation to know the customer portfolio based on behavioral patterns along with other characteristics. By studying the habits, they are able to understand the proposal that best matched the customer preferences, and also offering the more convenient price to have a happy customer, but also a happy company. But Iberdrola continues to evolve and wants to be more than an energy supplier, and Iberdrola wants to be truly involved in the roadmap of electrification and digitalization by offering energy products to its customers. And this is one example that I wanted to share with you, that is the advanced smart assistant. That is a digital platform launched by Iberdrola, which our customers can easily and automatically manage the consumption of smart electrical devices. This product is developed here in Qatar, in the Iberdrola Innovation Middle East Center, and use artificial intelligence service to automatically shift the consumption to the best time slots, taking into account the forecast of the PV production and tariff, but also without creating discomfort in the home. And nowadays, the user relies in the artificial intelligence to manage the devices to meet the requirements of comfort and bill savings. But here start a new topic that is really related with the generated artificial intelligence of this. That is the three topics: that's the ethic, the reliability of the system, and security. And it's clear that the artificial intelligence and generated artificial intelligence in the next generation, the actual generation, is a powerful tool for business, but also for us, because they improve our lives from the perspective of us, the customers. But in the other hand, grid power requires grid responsibility. All the data describes our habits, preferences, lifestyle, or even where we are. So it's something that we need to take serious care to prevent it from falling into malicious hands. That said, and bearing in mind that one of Iberdrola's priorities is to maintain customer trust, security, and privacy, a conservative stance is the one nowadays adopted by the company at the moment. It doesn't mean that they are not doing anything. It's that cybersecurity is one of the main actors playing in these new approaches using the generative artificial intelligence. Cybersecurity, that is also a trending topic these days, goes hand in hand with any initiative related to customer data, and use cases are carefully studied and developed in the laboratory environment to avoid risk. In fact, this is one of our first initiatives that is going to be done in Iberdrola, and to be exact, here in Qatar. But I'm sure that it's just the beginning, and the success will be to find the strategy to stay ahead without compromising the company's security and ethical values. So that's all for my side. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have some questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Arantxa. We will keep the questions for when we finish the presentation.
Okay.
I want to thank you to share your experience with us about the artificial intelligence. We will continue now with Bravent. We have Mario Lopez Baratas, the CIO, and John Gutierrez, Business Development Director.
Hello, everyone. John, you're on mute.
We need some AI that automatically sets this mute on, because it's still causing a problem years later. Okay,
every time.
I'm going to share my screen. First of all, thank you so much, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in such fine company as well. So great presentation, some amazing insight. Let's hope that we can keep you as engaged as you have been. So just very quickly, I want to start off with who we are, about Bravent. For those of you that don't know us, we're an IT company, specialist Microsoft company as well. We've been around since 2013, so we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. We proven expertise in AI, mixed reality, business intelligence, cloud computing, and the metaverse. We'll come on to the metaverse later because it's still around. And also, we're very proud to have the Microsoft specialized expertise in AI, machine learning, and modernization of web application. We're one of very, very few, I think it's just 3 companies in the Middle East and Qatar with this specializations, and that's something that we're very proud of. We work very hard to achieve, and we're hoping we can put that to good use. We have our own innovation lab, which Mario, he's our CIO. He heads our innovation lab. This is where all the fun stuff happens. So that's just a quick introduction. We, as of this year, we are now open for business in Qatar. We have a company registered in Qatar. So we're really excited about the opportunities that the Middle East brings, especially in this AI world. So I just want to kind of talk quickly, and Jad gave a really good explanation. Sometimes we have people, customers come to us and they want to implement AI, and this is kind of how they see it. I got some data, put some AI, and I want to get value immediately, and it's pretty as simple as that. But as you know, nothing is as simple as it always seems. So as Arantxa will no doubt say as well, data, this is the fuel of AI. You have to have good data, and then you have all the engineering, the modeling, obviously putting it into production, into operation, with everything that comes with that, and then of course all the constraints, the legal, the ethical, security, etc. So I just wanted to put that very simple diagram just to show you that it's not as simple as sometimes you think. Do choose your partner wisely. Here at Bravent, we can take you through this whole journey. But yeah, lots of things to consider. And what we wanted to do today is show you some use cases. So really go into a deep dive into and actually show you some of these things. And Jad has set us up quite well, because one of the first things that we want to talk about is and show you, actually, not so much talk about it, is Copilot. So you've mentioned Copilot. I think this is Copilot for me 2.0, and I'll tell you why. I'm sure do you remember this guy? You must remember Clippy. Remember? I think
Yes.
it looks like you're writing a letter. Well, Clippy for me was Copilot 1.0. So now we're on 2.0, and I wanted to show you some practical, just like a couple of little video of this in action. So here we have a typical scenario of an email. This is an email thread. This has probably been going on for quite some time. And here, finally, we have a request for a proposal. And here, let me just stop that. Just go back a bit here. You can see that there's different options available to me on the Copilot. The one I'm going to choose here is to make a proposal. And automatically the Copilot kicks in, takes in all of the information, reads all of the thread, and is going to draft me an email with the key points automatically. I'm going to copy that to email. Now, Jad said very well, it's just Copilot, so we're in it together. It's just a draft. I'm now going to tailor this. So obviously now it's down to the human element to make that more personal. But, you know, the hard work's already been done by the AI, by the Copilot. And there we go. Now, this is linked to my dynamics. So you can see at the top, I have my dynamics, and just a couple of clicks, I can link this to my dynamics, which is the CRM system. So I just want to, at this point, just ask Mario a quick question, because I'm sure everybody can see the value of this. But hey, Mario, what happens if I'm not running dynamics? What happens if I have a different CRM system? And what happens if I have Salesforce, HubSpot, or my own one? Can I connect the data from my own CRM, even if it's not a Microsoft one? That's my first question.
Absolutely. Yes, no, that's a very good question, John, because probably the most interesting thing with copilots is that we can create our own copilot, our customized copilot. So Microsoft provide to us an SDK that we can integrate, and we can create our own copilots. That's something very interesting, because as you are saying, probably we will have different tools in our company, like Salesforce or whatever. But also we can have different data source. Imagine that we have our data in a SQL Server database, and we want to access to that information, and we want some help to do a maintenance task, for example. So we can create our own copilots that can access to all of this data and can help us in every single task. And also we can integrate it in our system. We can integrate it in Teams, for example, and we can have the chat window in our Teams application, and we can request anything that we want. So imagine the possibilities here, John. That's
yeah, I can imagine. So here is a scenario, because what we want to do is we want to talk about many different industries. So a help desk, for example, maybe responding to a help desk ticket, we could have a knowledge base connected with all of the information, the manuals, the FAQs, and I can respond using Copilot with this information. So I mean, it's amazing on its own, but when you connect to your data, it becomes truly incredible, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Mario. So I'm going to go through the second example. Okay, this is using Word and the Copilot in Word. And here I'm going to ask for a draft proposal, but I'm going to use the notes that I stored yesterday, which is in my notes. I want it to look like I want to take information from a product roadmap document. So you can already see, and that's the generative part. So it's already generated this information. Here on my Copilot, I can make it look like a different proposal, and I can bring in images from, well, I guess anywhere as well. We could have, I guess there, Mario, your own repository of images.
Yeah.
This I love, the summarization, the executive summary, that it automatically generates it for you. That's an incredible time saver. And here I'm going to add, so you can pretty much customize this any way you like, and you can take information from any source you like. So I think that this is extremely useful. I'm sure it's very underused at the moment, and I'm sure that as time goes on, once people discover the power of this, we're going to see some pretty incredible stuff coming out. Jad mentioned one of the use cases being a call center. One of the things that we've been working very hard with is using this in a call center. I wonder if you could, I'm just
How
hoping.
may I help you?
Can you hear this
I
voice
just
recording?
received my order.
We
Okay.
can.
You said I would receive it on the 20th. It's on the 22nd. Still nothing. I don't know what's going on, but if it's not too much of a bother to you, I would really, really now love to get what I paid for. You know what I
Okay, so I'm not going to play you the whole recording, but you can imagine the scenario. We have many, many audio files which we will store in a storage account container. It could be on AWS, it could be on a Microsoft storage, wherever it is. And then we're using artificial intelligence to extract the information. And then I see two scenarios. One of them is the stats. So basically, I can extract information and it can tell me real time how we're doing on the call center.
How may I help you?
And then the second one is this is my own little co-pilot that I created. So this one you would have in your existing call center software or your existing system. And here I'm just based on this call. Here are the 6 things that I wanted. I wanted to summarize it. I wanted to give me the sentiment of the customer. How did the agent handle the call? The final outcome, the next actions, and how the system has rated the call. And I've predefined how I want that rating to happen. So I've said I want to give it X amount of points if they ask for the purchase order number, and if it asks for this. So we've already customized the way that we rate it. And here you can see very, very simply, very quickly, it's given me a summary. So it's kind of like my own little co-pilot. And then the other thing I'm going to ask it to do, as we saw in the other example, but this is now taking information from this call that I've just made, and I'm asking it to draft me an email. And as you can see, it's picked up the order number that was on the call, key information. Obviously, there was an issue with the package not being delivered, so we're going to be very apologetic first of all in the email, and then here, let me just, sorry, we're going to issue a PDNR, which is a package not delivered, not received, and you can see this is the draft. Again, human intervention just to finish that off, but as you can see, it's the hard work has been done by the co-pilot. Again, this is almost a custom co-pilot, and I see this is for call centers, the amount of time that's going to be saved and the quality. Obviously, we all have had issues with call center. This is going to help improve the quality of call centers, no doubt. Okay, the next one, and for this one, we're going to be quite brave because we are going to do a live demo. So let's see how that goes. Mario,
Let's try. Let's try it, John.
Absolutely, and this is really so. What we've done here is we've got a storage account. We have put documents into it. We're going to use some AI services, and then I've got a little front end. So basically, here is some of the documents that I've uploaded. And on this next one, you can see I'm going to go with the live demo. So let's see how we get on. I'll move this down. So this is the chat window that we've created that's connected to our data. So this is a fictitious company, and this is really for you to be able to ask questions about different health plans that the company offers you. Now, the first thing I want to do is for you to open your mind that this can be used for any industry, for any sector. I mean, we can apply this to kind of anything that you want your documents to be the source information. I'm even talking about hospitality, hotels, healthcare, education, financial services, legal. This is amazing with legal. But anywhere that you have information, you can train this to use that information as a source. So I'm just going to quickly use one of the predefined questions. This is actually happening real time. So this is generating the answer. Okay, so one of the things that I love is when it answers the question, it actually gives me the citation of where that information is come from. So one of the things I guess we're all a little bit worried about is, where did it get this information, and can I trust the information? Well, here you can go straight to the citation, and you can go to the document, and you can read for yourself and make sure that the information is in the right context. So that's one of the first things. I'm just going to ask it now a question. Does my plan have dental? Now, I said have my plan, so I haven't told it which plan I have. There's actually two plans, a standard and a plus. But because before I told it, I had the Northwind Health Plus, the thing I want to highlight there is the context. It already knew that I had that, so it was able to answer that question in context with the previous answer. So let me ask it another question. Do I have co-payments? Now, this for an internal system could be amazing. It would be amazing even for like an HR where you have lots of information available to your employees, company manuals, every piece of information that you have that you want to make available to your staff. You could do through this kind of as assistant, and it's just using documents, PDF documents as the source information. So here again, there's two reference documents. And now I'm just going to ask it for the best thing that I love. Can you summarize my plan? It's just a 130-page document. Obviously, we don't want to read every single part. So summarization for me is still one of the best things about ChatGPT. So we'll just wait for it to give us a response. There you go. And here it's the summarization of my plan, 5 different documents of source. So where you can see wherever it talks about something, I can go and look at the citation in that document. This one is 1, this one is 2. And I think this is a great example of how you can use this kind of generative AI document system. And again, one of the most difficult things always to do with these kind of chatbots was the training. Here, you're just putting documents into a repository, and the system is being trained automatically. So I think that
yeah, it
that
worked.
is yeah, it worked. That's great. Yeah. Right. So let's carry on. We've got a few more things to show you. There's a live demo done. Right. Okay. So we've talked a lot about AI, and with the title of the webinar did include some mixed reality. And the reason that we wanted to include that is because even with mixed reality, AI plays a big part. So we have a customer, I'm sure you all are familiar with John Deere. We had a particular use case from a couple of years ago. This was for the quality assurance department. They were looking to automate the quality in their assembly plants. So this is Mario's baby, so I'm going to let him explain a little bit about what's going on here. But this was our first proof of concept that we developed.
This is the first POC that we have created around 3-4 years ago. We started to talk with John Deere because, as John is saying, they had a problem in the assembly line process because it was very difficult to ensure the quality of the products that they are assembling. And what we did is that we have created this POC where we can analyze every single step. We were analyzing what was happening in real time, as you are seeing. Also, we trained different AI models to analyze and detect the different objects that we are seeing through the camera. But after that, we went one step ahead because we started to create a product that we call Industrial Vision Solution. These are real pictures of the factory of the John Deere factory, where we have a camera that is in the top of the assembly line. With this camera, we are analyzing everything that is happening, and as you can see here in this video, we are analyzing every single step, every single part of the process, and we are alerting in real time to the operator if they are doing something wrong or if everything is going well. If they have any problem, we send an alert to the software that they have, so they could see in real time, as I was saying, that's something very important for them. We are seeing in real time the problem that we are facing. If we did something wrong or we forgot a part or whatever. So imagine amount of time that we are saving to this customer, and also imagine the amount of money that we are saving, and also of course we are improving the quality of the products, because we are ensuring that in every analysis through the camera.
So here you can see it's just gone red. Let me just go back there. Now,
Yeah.
what I noticed, Mario, is these pieces, especially the washers, they look the same if you
But
put
very
them
similar,
on either
yeah.
way, but
Yeah.
they're very, very similar. But if you put them on upside down, in the past, you would go through, and then probably 6 months down the line or a year down the line, the tractor would be back with a fault that would be quite a costly repair for John Deere, because it would be still under guarantee. So here we're even able to, so basically this is almost preventive maintenance for the future. So this is coming out of the assembly line, full quality control, and even something as small as that. Hey, I just put the washer around the wrong way. Immediately there's an alert. So when it goes red, the worker knows they need to stop, and they've done something wrong. So this is something also that we are looking to implement into different industries as well. We've done some things for hospitality, using cameras
Retail.
to detect in the buffet, for food wastage, also to detect when tables need cleaning or etc. So you can apply, I guess, Maddie, you can apply this kind of technology,
Yeah.
this computer vision, to many different
Yes.
industries. Perfect. Okay, so industrial metaverse. Now, we didn't really talk much about metaverse, and probably some of you thinking, well, the metaverse has kind of died. Well, I think it's gone on a little bit of a pause, and certainly since ChatGPT came out, it really stopped everybody thinking about metaverse and just thinking about AI. This is something that will be coming back. You've all seen that the big player, Apple are investing. Microsoft is investing on a new platform called Mesh, which is specifically geared to industry. It's not going to be a gaming; it's going to be industry. And we have a really good use case with Avangrid. Avangrid is part of the Iberdrola group, and this is a use case that we did with them, which would be impossible to replicate in a real life scenario. So this is simulating a cyber attack in an energy plant, and what they do is they run through an attack. Everybody, there's different rooms, control room. Here we're going to simulate that the attack actually causes an explosion in the plant, and then obviously everybody will, in the metaverse, will need to respond accordingly. And they run these simulations over and over again to make sure that, should this ever happen, obviously we're hoping it never does, but should it ever happen, that the people are trained. Now, this is we're evolving this product, this solution, and the next thing is actually looking to implement this with some AI as well, features as well. So I think AI could play a very important role here. So this is a really good use case, and I'm sure we'll be seeing, especially as Microsoft launches the Mesh platform, we'll be seeing this come back with a vengeance. And the last use case that I wanted to show you, and Jad showed us one of the images, and generative images. So this is something else. We always talk about text, but Mario and I are big Formula One fans, and here is Mario looking really good in, I think, Monaco, probably Monaco. The idea we're playing with this generative images. We're using prompt. This is actually for a fan engagement solution we're working on. It's called Sportify Me. So you'll be able to say, hey, I want to be a Formula One car driver. I want to be in this team. I want to be in Monaco, and it would allow you to generate. It would generate these images. Now, we're doing this for a little bit of fun, for the fan engagement, but this sort of generative images can be used, have a very serious use in media, for social, for anywhere where you need to create images. And obviously sometimes you just need to get the idea out there and generate a quick image. And we're seeing this this evolution. This really evolve a lot now. So not only are we talking about generative images, but we're now seeing generative spaces, generative videos being created. So this is something to watch out for. Again, Bravent are trying to lead the way with some innovative stuff. So watch out for Sportify Me and have a go when it's ready. And with that, I just want to say thank you. And I think we will probably be ready to take some questions.
Yep.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's incredible all we can do now with artificial intelligence. Thank you so much for showing us what we can do. Now, please, if you have, we have a couple minutes for question. If you have any question, you can raise your hand or you can write the question in the chat. Just wait if someone have a questions. Okay, I think so. We don't have question for now, but okay, someone is raising their hand. I'm sorry, it was me by mistake. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, if you have any question, you can also send an email. You can find the email in the chat. We already writing there. With this, but we conclude our webinar. Thank you very much for all our attendees. Also, a special thanks to Jad from Microsoft, Arantxa from Iberdrola, and Mario and John from Bravent. I think so. This is a valuable information you give to us today. Thank you so much for everything. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.